Sound Off.
Rated T14.
Does young people even need a voice in this community? What can the community expect from this show?
I am my brother's keeper. We got to be responsible for each other.
It's okay to be different. Building stronger communities by helping the rest of our community really make it and achieve their dreams.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go!
Good morning, Horry and Georgetown counties, and welcome back to Sound Off. And Sound Off is heard weekly on your favorite radio station. And we are sponsored by Carolina Teen Health. And just in case we had some people that might not have been listening in the last segment, team members, introduce yourselves at this time.
Hello, I'm Jasmine Smith.
I'm Jared Cannon.
Good morning, guys. I'm Tanisha Jones.
I'm Michelle DeBerry.
I'm Deontra Campbell.
And I'm Johnny Ray.
This your girl, Rion.
Hi, it's Brianna Bellamy.
We are really honored to have with us on this morning Corporal Tyrese Neesmith. And the conversation is about bath salts. Now, to be honest with you, Corporal Neesmith, when I heard that, I'm thinking about something that I could put in my bath water. So I was really not informed, and I'm sure several people in the community that feels the way that I do. So let's talk about the name, and is that just like an undercover name, and how did this whole thing come about?
Basically, bath salts is a synthetic designer drug, and the purpose of it is for the purposes of using bath salts. I'm going to read you disclaimers what some of the manufacturers have put out. They said the use of the term bath salts refers to the product that abusers are using to get a drug-like high. This does not refer to the legitimate bath salts that a bather would use. Okay. This is not crushed up, the little fizzy drops that you see in the store. I'm going to crush them up, snort it. Everything that is in the bath, like Calgon and Ivory and all those, none of those products are used in the bath salts that people are abusing. Okay. They don't cross over. They don't share the same ingredients. This designer drug, as it's called, was totally made to undercut the drug laws that exist now. It was basically a form of illegal cocaine. It's kind of like along the lines of where it went. Sort of like we were just talking on break that when they came out with legal marijuana, it had all the components of cannabis and you had all the effects, but the chemical components were changed to make it legal. However, as we all found out, the effects from the fake marijuana were way worse than regular marijuana. Okay. So, and this is pretty much about the same thing. They're getting the same high as cocaine would, as methamphetamines, as everything else, but the negative effects are almost worse than what you would get than with the regular stuff.
Okay. And at Sound Off, we try to make sure that we deal with topics that are relevant to our young people and make sure that we empower the community. And that's why I'm going to you, Jasmine, because you really wanted to ask something that I thought was really good.
Like, how strong is the bath salt compared to cocaine?
The effects are going to be probably neck and neck, the same. That's why you're getting, most people are going for it because I can get the same high when it's legal. Wow.
Is it as strong as ecstasy too?
Yeah, it has more of a cocaine type, methamphetamine type high, and I don't know what that is because I've never taken it, so I can't give you 100% what that feels like. But it is a stimulant, just the same. It does produce hallucinogenic properties. It does violent behavior, aggressive behavior, loss of appetite. Some people have seizures. Your body temp can go up. Your body temp can go down. You can experience hypothermia, loss of bowels. You can have a lot of things that go wrong because, as is with most drugs, you're always chasing that high. Cocaine and crack and all those drugs are, any addict will tell you what you're trying to do is get that first high. That first high is so awesome and you'll never catch it. So you're always taking more. Well, with bath salts, the majority of the people that are using it are having the same problem. They're trying to catch that high. And what they don't realize is they are high and they think they've come down and they are in the midst of their high and they're like, whoa, I don't feel the effects anymore. With bath salts, they go get more and now they've almost overdosed themselves. And so they keep re-upping and not realizing they never came down. They actually hadn't even got up there yet.
Wow. Okay, Brianna?
I was going to ask, have the suicide rates and have they increased, or has murder and has that increased in the county?
There is not a study as of yet because, like I say, this all just started within the last year. So I'm pretty sure they're compiling those numbers. And the scary part about it is most of the suicides probably were attributed to, they were depressed, not knowing that this was in their system. There's not a test for it. So I'm pretty sure whatever numbers that they do or are compiling, they probably are a lot more because you know, it wasn't in the scope anymore. Nobody even tested for it. Nobody knew it happened. So, you know, crime scene probably got there and saw some powder, tested it. Oh, it's nothing, and didn't have any idea, knowing that this might or may not have been played and had a play in it. As far as homicides, whether or not it has, I have not seen any data on that. I'm pretty sure it may or may not play into it because the violent behavior is real, and most people have to, you know, there was a 70-year-old woman that was attacked by her 40-year-old daughter. You know, she almost killed her with a machete. She was trying to behead her. Wow. Luckily, she did not succeed, but she did sustain serious injury, and it was because she was on bath salts.
Wow. Okay, that's enough. If you want, I mean, that's it. That should be a reason why people, this stuff is serious.
You would think, but look at how many people are hooked on meth. Wow. You know, as much information is out there, people are not taking it serious, or they take that one, it's just one time, and that one time they don't understand. When you hear that term, that monkey's on my back, that's what that means. It jumps on you, and it is the hardest thing to get off. And I know firsthand, just dealing with family members, this stuff is serious. And that one time, just stick your finger in there and put it in your tongue. Oh, I felt a buzz for the day, but then you want to feel it again, and you don't know why you want to feel it again. And it gets you, and now you're chasing a high. Now you're either stealing to get the money for it, or you know, you just go to the store and buy it. So until, you know, the DEA, like I said, they're working hard. They're working very hard to get this to be listed as a scheduled drug. And what a scheduled drug is something that's illegal. Anything that you have to get a prescription for is what it's going to carry, which means that those are felony charges if you get caught with it.
Okay, Rion.
So what are the signs that you could tell from your child, like actually sniffing it or whatever?
If they snort it, most people, like I tell, like we've said in other shows, you know your child. Right. You know if your child is easygoing, you don't have any problems with it, and all of a sudden they're blowing off the handle and they're throwing stuff around, that's like a telltale, that's easy. But I mean, you know, they're sitting there profusely sweating for no reason. They're sitting on the couch and they're not a sweater, you know, or, you know, because it affects everybody differently. It is a stimulant, but everybody doesn't go off the handle. Right. You know, majority of the time it will go violent. But, you know, if you start noticing some serious effects, you know, some serious behavioral changes, it may not, you know, look for bath salts, but it may not be that. It may be another drug. But so for any parent, just, you know, definitely pay attention, and teachers and everybody in law enforcement too. We're being taught to, when you approach someone, if they're acting a little off, obviously something's wrong.
Okay, Trey?
Say, like you said about a case that a man he took something, he started cutting himself. Say there's a case where someone cuts themselves and they happen to live through it and all that. In the long term, like say they get off of it because they figure out what's wrong and like a week or a month go by, could they have like a relapse of it?
Yes, they can. As with all drugs, you always that's a daily battle. That's if you talk with anybody that goes to rehab or anything, it's every day, one day at a time, fighting that urge, because it's easy, especially now with bath salts. If I was addicted to bath salts, every time I go in a convenience store, it's gonna be a problem because it's looking at you. You know, at least drugs, I got to go to the dealer and I got to sneak around and find somebody. It's right there. Yeah. You know, I'm pretty sure anybody relapse. I'm pretty sure relapse rate on bath salts is very high right now.
Wow. Such good information. Johnny Ray.
So being as, you know, you said there's not a lot of studies on it, do you happen to know if there's been like a large amount of deaths due to bath salts? Do you know exactly?
I do not. Personally, I know there are some. What the number is, I don't know. And that's just because it's attributed to, like I said a few minutes ago, they don't realize that they're still high. And so they're re-upping, and it's the same thing as some people that are on cocaine. You're trying to re-up, and then you end up ODing. So I'm pretty sure there are, you know, some numbers being compiled. Have they been released? It have not as of yet.
So, like, as far as it being addictive, like, would you compare it to something like cocaine? Like,
definitely. That's the derivative. It is very highly addictive.
Okay, who we got? Jared, what you got for us?
Well, like you said before, this substance is legal. Like, is our government like trying to pass a law where like you can't have it on you, or to like make it illegal?
They're working now. They're trying to make it a scheduled drug. They are working really hard. We just got an email about 2 weeks ago, and because they, like I said, we're looking at it on just South Carolina, and actually it is ballooning and blowing out of proportion in the South more than it is in the North. So they're realizing, if you look at it, you know, USA wide, they are realizing it is a bad problem. And it's on the rise, and because it caught everybody by surprise, nobody was paying attention. So now you got a lot of people that are already hooked to something that they had no clue what the ramifications were. They figured, I get a little high. They didn't realize it was going to be a big high.
Okay, Michelle?
I actually have two questions. Earlier you said depression. Like, are there more sides? Like, can it make you super happy? And I know you said violence. Like, are there other sides other than depression and violence?
Yes. It affects everyone differently. I actually have a long list of side effects.
We want to hear the side effects.
We'll be here for a long time. Okay, increased heart rate.
Give us about 10 of them.
Okay, increased heart rate, agitation, insomnia, lack of appetite, increased alertness and awareness, anxiety, fits and delusions, nosebleeds, muscle spasms, blood circulation problems, increased blood pressure, seizures, renal failure, hallucinations, aggression, severe paranoia, panic attacks, fluctuation in body temp, dilated pupils, violent rage, hot flashes, cravings similar to crack, difficulty breathing, loss of bowel control, chest pain, and headaches. So, I mean, it is going to affect everybody differently. It doesn't give you that euphoric state that I'm just so happy, but it does give you a high.
Wow. At Sound Off, we want the community to become involved. We want you to log and join the conversation. If it's something we're talking about, go to www.wesoundoff.com. Become part of this conversation. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you want us to talk about weekly. On that note, my friend, y'all, let's give it up once again for Corporal Tyrese Knox Neesmith. Do your shout-outs. You better shout out your mama, too. Okay. Closing remarks. Closing remarks, I
would like to say for not only for your teens, but for the parents that are listening, this is a very serious issue. And one thing I did forget to mention was the packaging, some of the guys and girls here said that they saw some of the names. Some of the serious names are like Ivory Wave or Vanilla Sky. It doesn't just say bath salts on the packaging. That's kind of written in little letters. So parents, be aware of what you're looking at. Some of them have went so far as to put plant food on some of the packaging. Wow. So look at anything that looks suspicious that's not right within your house. For everyone that's here and all the teens that are listening, don't do any drugs. It is not worth the trade-off, as far as a lot of y'all are in college or trying to get to college. And it's just, personally, I never tried any drugs because I have a personal vendetta for myself, mantra rather, that I don't like it being out of control of my body. That's it goes for Tylenol with codeine. I don't like anything that's going to make me feel crazy. So it's not worth the trade-off of what you could lose, and because you have so much to gain. But watch what your friends are doing. If they do it, don't get in the cars with them. Like I say, positive. Right. Be positive. Peer pressure. Try to talk to your friends. If you don't want to talk to them, get somebody else to talk to them. I'd rather you at least try to get their attention than watch them fall apart. Because watching your friend go down the tubes is not a fun thing to do, and I know that for personal experience. So get on the positive train and try to talk to them. And definitely for your own personal safety, don't try this mess. It's not worth, because when we find out what the long-term effects are, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be good.
This is Jasmine Smith. I want to give a shout out to my mom, Lisa Smith, and my sister, Cleisha Middleton, and my dad, Greg Smith.
This is Jared Cannon, a.k.a. J. Riggy Rod the Rodfather. You know what? I'm going to just give a shout out to all my loved ones. I love y'all.
It's Tanisha. Everybody know me as Turk's daughter. Shout out to my daddy, Tony Pryor, and to my grandparents, Cecilia Curtis Pryor. Shout out to Cherry Hill Missionary Baptist Church. We on the radio, y'all.
This is Michelle DeBerry. I want to give a shout out to my parents, Tina and David DeBerry. And special shout out to my girl, Mercedes Johnson, who finally is recovering from what happened to her.
This is DeAndre. This time I give a shout out to my grandparents, Rhoda Brown and Leroy Hemingway. Thank you for letting me sleep on your couch before I came here today.
And this is Johnny Ray. I give a shout out to my mom and dad, Johnny and Star Ray. Also my little brother, Aaron, and everybody at Conway High School, including Mama Schofield right here.
This is Ryan Griffin. I want to give a shout out to my two godparents, Seminary and Land, and also my sister, Naquaylin Griffin.
This is Brianna. I want to give out a shout out to my grandma, Coretta Ann Bellamy, and my dad, Robert Bellamy, and all my friends at Early College High School.
I'm sorry. I would like to give a shout out to my loving family, to my law enforcement family. Everybody be safe out there. And definitely a special shout out to Judy Waits, who takes care of my baby and allows me to do the job that I do. Without her, I couldn't do it.
We love you, Miss Waits. So Miss Waits allow you to come. Y'all, we got to give it up for Miss Waits because she got the baby. Miss Waits! Special shout out to Carolina Teen Health. We love Carolina Teen Health, and we appreciate the sponsorship. A special shout out also goes to my family in Georgetown. You know how we do. Dunbar community. I stand on your shoulders. And everyone in Horry County, my husband, my son Lance Schofield. Shouting you out, Lance. Courtney, I love you. So guys, we sound off and
You can sound off too.
Sound off.